Hello all from Eastern Hills High School. Welcome to the TCU presentation. My name is Victoria Herrera. I am an admissions counselor here at TCU, and I hope this presentation gives you good information about TCU and about the application process, especially those who are going through the process or about to go through the process for seniors. So I'll give good information about that, as well as we'll go over some of the majors that TCU offers. But moving right along, if you notice, the first slide is lead on to a bright future. We definitely know that you're looking at different schools, but we're glad that you're at least wanting to find out about TCU as one of your options. So we want to lead you on to a bright future, and we want to help guide you through that pathway. But the slide you see now is my contact information. Again, my name is Victoria Herrera. I am Associate Director of Admission Access Initiatives here on campus. And I am a TCU alum and also a TCU parent. Had two boys graduate from here. So we bleed a little purple in our family. But if you need to contact me, that information is on the screen. My email address, as well as the main number to the admissions office. Because you may have questions later on and you want to contact me, because students, should you apply to TCU, I will be the one reading your file because I cover Eastern Hills High School. And that's what we mean when we say we cover the school. We are assigned certain schools in areas in the country. And so should you apply to TCU, it will be me that will be reading your file. And if you have any questions or anything, please don't hesitate to contact me. But every university, every institution, even corporations where your family members may be employed, has a mission statement, and TCU definitely does. Ours is to educate individuals to think and act as ethical leaders and responsible citizens in the global community. Now, I know that sounds like a long, drawn-out sentence, and it is, but I like to break it down so you'll know what our philosophy here is at TCU. To educate individuals. Students, you'll be taught by experts in the field. You'll be taught by PhD, master's, law degree professors, that type of level, and tenured professors. In other words, you don't have to wait till you go to graduate school to finally be taught by a PhD professor. It's very, very common that all, if not most of your professors, as soon as your freshman year, will be at the PhD level. Also, to think and act as ethical leaders and responsible citizens. Once you are enrolled at TCU, you are representing your university. You are wearing our colors, our logo. We hope that you conduct yourself accordingly on campus and off campus. We hope that you share your knowledge, your positive experiences at TCU with your family members, your former, your classmates, as well as your former teachers at Eastern Hills. But we hope that you share that knowledge and that you've acquired, as well as the experiences. In the global community, not sure, but how many of you thought about studying in another country? It's definitely an opportunity. It's not a commitment or an obligation, but it is it could be a life-changing opportunity for you. So explore that opportunity. Ask questions. Where do I go? What do I do? Who do I go with? And when do I go? As I mentioned, so please step out of your comfort zone and figure out where you may want to go. You may want to explore a country you've always dreamed about going, or return to a country that you have visited before. When I was here at TCU, I studied in Guatemala and Mexico. My older son took some psychology courses in Scotland and London, and my other son, he took courses in the Philippines. Students, we can send you just about anywhere in the world, and we have. Now, a lot of students and families ask, what does Texas Christian University stand for? We were founded by the Disciples of Christ, but currently we are represented by 60 plus faiths on campus. We embrace different cultures, different beliefs, opinions. So we celebrate different religious, ceremonies on campus, and we want you to feel comfortable exploring, trying to find out about different cultures and religions around the world. Now, we do have Robert Carr Chapel that's located on our campus that's open every day at noon for students who wish to reflect or participate. but it's not mandatory that students attend chapel every day. But what is mandatory, every student must take a religion class before you graduate from TCU. You could take just examples of religion classes, because there's many to choose from, but just two examples. One is you may want to study more in depth about your denomination, your religion preference. You can take a class in that area. Or you may want to you're curious to learn about different cultures and religions around the world. We do have classes such as a study of world religions. It's not to change your opinion or sway your belief, but it is to build your knowledge of different religions and cultures around the world. Now, here is a slide with a lot of numbers, and all of them are important, but I'll just highlight some of them. A lot of students think that we're this huge school. I know you've heard that we won the Rose Bowl. We've been to the College World Series and so forth, but we're known for many things as well, such as academics, the experience at TCU. So right now, we have a little over 9,000 students pursuing their bachelor's degree, their undergraduate degree, such as you would. But our total enrollment is a little over 10,000, and that includes students pursuing their master's and PhD level degrees. Our average class size is about 27 students. When you get up to your upper level classwork, such as junior and senior year, your classes may even get smaller, 10, 12, 15. Also, we are pushing almost 92% now retention rate. Why is that a strong percentage number? It is important, and we are so proud that it is that strong, because it's telling you as students why are students enrolling at TCU and returning from freshman to sophomore year. That's telling us at TCU that we're doing something right. We're providing resources, opportunities for students for them to want to come back to TCU for another year and finish their degree. So that is why it's very important to have a high percentage retention rate, but it took a lot of work to get there. We offer resources such as the Writing Center, Math Tutorial, Frog Camp, orientation during the summer before you even come to TCU to learn more about TCU, and register for classes and learn about such resources as tutoring and so forth. So that's why our retention rate is so high. Now this slide illustrates a couple of things. If you notice the bar graph, it is all color coded. Those represent the different schools that are in the Big 12. We are Division I, Big 12. Of course, you note that the largest scaled burnt orange is that beautiful burnt orange school in Austin, but it illustrates they have the highest student body count in the Big 12. And if you notice on the other side of the spectrum, TCU has the smallest student body count. But this also illustrates that even though we're the smallest student body count, we offer as much, if not more, than the other schools do. What do we offer students? Definitely, TCU is a very hands-on institution, meaning we want students to learn and gain experience while they're receiving their degree to make you more competitive. How do we do that? We offer quite a bit of internship opportunities for students in your area of study. You as students are encouraged as soon as your freshman year to come and set up appointments and meet with staff in the career services department at TCU, because they will offer you opportunities to help guide you to build your resume, do mock interviewing, do cover letters, network. You can find out what are students doing in your area of study for the summer to gain experience. What internship opportunities are available for me, or how do I connect with my professor to do some research. All these things that you do while you're at TCU will help you and make you more competitive for grad school or that job of your choice. Academics. I know some of you may know exactly what you want to study. Some of you have one or two or three things that you're thinking about. You're just not sure. And please know that's okay. We understand when you apply to TCU, you may not know what you want to study. And so on the line where it says, what's your intended major? You could put undecided. That's okay. We just know you haven't decided yet. But we do offer over 115 areas of study. And no matter what area of study it is, it falls under one of the 8 schools that we offer. The first school that I want to talk about is the the Foundation in the Liberal Arts, the Adran College of Liberal Arts. Now that school also has our core curriculum, meaning that you, no matter what area of study you're going into, what any degree plan you're pursuing, you will take coursework under this school, because this school, again, is our core curriculum school as well. You'll be taking classes such as English, math, science, history. But this school also offers specific degree plans, such as criminal justice, the languages, philosophy, religion is a degree plan at TCU. Now, a lot of students ask, what's TCU known for? What's the major? Well, here on this slide has our 4 highlighted and popular areas of study, or the schools. But that's not to imply that all students only gravitate to these schools, but they are popular. The first one is the Neely School of Business. Now, it's a little different to get into the business school at TCU. If you apply to the school, to TCU, and you intend to major in business, and you're admitted to TCU, you'll come in as a pre-business student. You'll come in and take, as your freshman year, you'll take coursework such as accounting, statistics, calculus. But then at the end of your 4th semester, typically the end of your sophomore year, you officially and formally apply to the School of Business. And what does that entail? An application process, a real life interview, letters of recommendation from TCU faculty and staff. But students, you'll be groomed for that interview day and process during your freshman year. Adran College of Liberal Arts, we talked about that a few minutes ago. That is also, again, the core curriculum that all students will be taking under that school. College of Science and Engineering, we have 2 emphases in engineering, mechanical and electrical. Our pre-med track is under there as well. And psychology. Why psychology is under there? Because psychology is a science-based degree. Then moving on to Harris College of Nursing and Health Sciences. We have a very well-recognized School of Nursing. Why? Because we actually have the nursing school on campus. And also kinesiology, athletic training, social work, or other careers, majors under that school. Now, students, just a tip from an admissions counselor like me, should you be interested in going into the areas under the Neely School of Business, College of Science and Engineering, and the Harris College of Nursing and Health Sciences, I strongly recommend that you take all the math and science at Eastern Hills High, because it does 2 things on your application. Number 1, it's going to make you more competitive. Number 2, it's going to prepare you for our rigor at TCU, because you will hit the ground running in those areas of study. Other areas or other schools that we offer, Bob Schieffer College of Communication. If you're wanting to be a journalist, a writer, editor, a broadcaster, an anchor person on TV or on the radio, we definitely have a good, strong affiliation with ESPN and the major network stations here in the DFW area. And we offer a lot of internship opportunities for students to go and get hands-on experience. College of Education, we have a bachelor's, master's, and PhD in the School of Education. Our students pass the teacher certification rate at 98%. College of Fine Arts, has some dancers in the audience. Drama, theater, musicians, we definitely have a strong School of Fine Arts. Students, if you are in marching band and you want to pursue marching band at TCU and you audition and make the band, you're automatically given a $3,000 stipend just to be in our band. So you may think about that as well. School of Interdisciplinary Studies, that has been a major and focal point here at TCU in the last several years. Students have really come to acquire a high interest in pursuing what they believe in. They want to be advocates for their opinions, their beliefs, and like, for instance, social justice. So we have areas of study in that area. And so you can build a degree plan. Some students do that and they go off to law school. So these are the areas that we have for you. Now, there are 3 things that we look for in your application when you apply. Number 1, we look to see if you meet the criteria to be admitted to TCU. Number 2, if you meet the criteria to be considered for an academic scholarship. There is no separate application for scholarship. All students who apply to TCU and submit their documents that are required, like your transcript, essays, letters of recommendation, will be considered for a scholarship. And then the 3rd thing we look for to see if you meet that criteria to be invited to the Honors College. What's the big deal of being invited to the Honors College? It is a big deal because you've earned it. You may have taken AP, honors, dual credit, IB credit, whatever you have stepped up to make a challenging course load. We want to reward you for that by acquiring a strong, solid GPA and letters of recommendation and so forth. So we want to invite you to the Honors College. The end result, you would be on a track of taking honor courses at TCU, and you would graduate with honors, making yourself more competitive for grad school or that job of your choice. Now, here are the nuts and bolts of admission. Students, when you are going into your senior year, you could start applying to TCU as of August 1, going into your senior year. So students, in other words, if you're a senior now, you could start applying. You could have started applying as of August 1, but our first deadline is coming up November 1st. Well, let's take a look at that. Now, when you apply to TCU, you can use or utilize the different applications of your choice. Number 1, you can go online at the TCU website and use our application if you wish to, or you can apply using the Common application, or the Apply Texas, or the Coalition application. It doesn't matter which application format you choose or platform you choose. We treat all applications the same. Now, when you apply, you're going to be asked to check mark. Do I want early action? Do I want early decision or regular decision? But what in the world does all that mean? Early action. If you are looking at TCU as one of your top choice schools, but you're looking around, that's fine. And you're admitted to TCU and you had applied under early action, you don't have to do anything but let us know by May 1 if you're coming or not. If you applied under early decision, if you check mark that box and you're admitted to TCU, that's a binding commitment. You must withdraw all your other applications to other schools because you committed to come to TCU under early decision. Our last and regular decision is February 1st, which is regular decision as noted on the slide. What do we look for in your application? We look for many things, but if you notice on the pie chart, the most filled in area is your academics. We definitely look strongly at your GPA, your ranking class, letters of recommendation. You know, we look at all that to see how prepared you are for your area of study. And so that is the main, it weighs a lot, but that's not the only thing we look at in your application. We look beyond all that. We look at your co-curricular. In other words, your resume. We ask for a resume. Students, this is a time to brag about yourself. Write down everything you're involved with in high school and outside of high school. Are you in marching band? Are you in student council? Do you volunteer? Are you an Eagle Scout? Or do you play sports? What is it that you do that you're proud of? Because the number one question I get asked by students is, how can I make my application stand out? My answer to that is, I don't know until you tell me. So tell me on your resume, you know, so brag about yourself, students. This is your time to do that. An essay is required. Not all universities require an essay. TCU does. We want to know what you're thinking and how you're putting it on paper. Teacher and high school counselor evaluation. That is definitely a requirement. Students select a teacher, you're doing well in their class, they like you like them, and that way they can write a stronger letter of recommendation on your behalf. A high school counselor letter recommendation is a required document. Students, if you haven't sat down for 5 minutes with your high school counselor or advisor, make an appointment, sit down and talk to them, give them a copy of your resume, let them know what you're interested in, studying. That way they can get all this information and write a letter on your behalf. Because we at TCU believe that your teachers and high school counselor or advisors should know you better than we do. Now, here is a snapshot of a typical incoming freshman, but please do not get stuck on the numbers because these are ranges for the ACT and SAT. But again, don't get stuck on the numbers because we get students who enroll at TCU above and below those ranges as well. Because we take your application and read everything and evaluate it. But students, please take note of this important information. This is the first year that TCU is going test optional, meaning if you have taken the SAT and ACT test, you have the decision and opportunity to submit those scores. You can also decide not to submit the scores. You will not be penalized at all should you not submit those scores. That is your decision whether you want to include those or not. We have a no harms clause, meaning we will not penalize your application, but we will evaluate your application fairly and evenly and equally with or without the scores. Now, some students take a different path to TCU. Some decide to transfer. They may go elsewhere, like another university or college, including a community college. All we need is 12 passing credit hours, and at least in most majors, at least a 2.7 GPA in order to come in as a transfer student. Now, we know there's a lot of decisions that come into play when you're choosing a college and university. Cost definitely is one of them. For right now, TCU, for tuition and fees, room and board, meal plan, and books, it's a little over $66,000 a year. But students, please don't get stuck on that ticket price because 70% of our student body does not pay that. Why? Because TCU is a very healthy institution. We provide quite a bit of scholarship and financial aid opportunities for students. So let's talk about scholarships. Again, as I mentioned earlier, there is no separate application for scholarship. Once you apply, we're going to look at your application to see if you meet the criteria to be admitted, and again, for scholarship consideration. The stronger your academic profile, the more opportunity for funding regarding scholarships. But students, when I counsel students, I also tell them, please, it's great if you're awarded a scholarship from the university, but also apply to outside scholarships. What do I mean by outside scholarships? Research, Coca-Cola, the Gates Foundation. Look at the Fort Worth ISD website. They have scholarship opportunities for you to apply. Check in with your high school counselor and advisors at your high school. Find out what opportunities they may have knowledge about that you could apply for regarding scholarship options. So please do some research and help close that financial gap. Now that was scholarship information. This right here that we're about to talk about is financial aid. Students, if you're not familiar with the FAFSA, I strongly recommend that you become familiar with that. That is the free application for federal student aid and the TASFA for undocumented students. Now, if you're a senior, you could start submitting your application for the FAFSA or TASFA as of October 1st. I would suggest strongly that you take 30 minutes and answer the questions when you go to the FAFSA website. That's all it takes, and it's free to do. That information will go to the government. the government will determine what you're eligible for regarding financial aid based on what you submitted. Now, that is financial aid money. That's government money. And I strongly recommend that everybody, no matter what income bracket you're in, to submit the FAFSA or the TASFA. Now, that again is government money. Now, the CSS profile is another component of financial opportunities. The CSS profile, you can access that form online at collegeboard.com, or excuse me, collegeboard.org. Now, students, that is institutional aid, meaning when you go to that form and submit that, it comes straight to TCU. If that's where you indicate it be sent to. It doesn't go to the government, it comes to TCU. TCU's financial aid office will determine if you're eligible for extra aid. So students, please, I strongly recommend that you do both, the FAFSA and the CSS profile. And you could start submitting those applications as of October 1st. That was just a couple of days ago. So please do that as soon as you can. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we have a very strong career services department at TCU, or career services center on campus. We definitely highly encourage you to visit that center as soon as your freshman year. That way you can find out, I'm on a track to pursue psychology or business or whatever you're wanting to pursue. What are students doing in the summer to gain experience? Where are they working? Who do I connect with? I need help with mock interviewing, things like that. So they will help you with that. And students, once you graduate from TCU, you're a frog for life. You're a TCU alum, and you change your career path later on. You can always come back to our Career Services Center as an alum and start rebuilding your networking opportunities. So it's always there for you as a TCU alum. And I know that Eastern Hills High School is not far from TCU. You probably are very familiar with Fort Worth area or getting to know the Fort Worth area. If you notice on the screen, we are ranked in different ways, but DFW area is a hot spot for internships, for opportunities for students, especially because TCU is located in the hot spot in Texas. So there are so many avenues that you can go through as far as gaining experience at TCU, and in order to set that successful path for you. But again, this concludes my presentation, and as you see on the screen, I have re-put my information for contacting me should you need to in the near future or later. But also there are two websites on the screen. We are doing visits on campus, but at small group settings due to the COVID, and we are only for this time in the fall inviting seniors to come visit our campus. Now in the spring, once and hopefully that COVID will be lifted, we'll start opening the tours, the campus tours to other students that are looking at TCU, not just seniors at this time. And then also there's another website, tcu.edu/travel. That gives a lot of good information about what we've talked about today or what I've presented today, as well as other things that you will definitely find valuable information. So thank you so much for joining today. And again, contact me, Victoria Herrera, should you need, and I'll just end with Go Frogs. Thank you so much.